is San Antonio's Fox News at 9.
And first on Fox, we start with some breaking news. This just in, we are working to gather more information, but we are getting reports of a possible explosion, another one in the Austin area. Emergency crews are responding to a call. We are hearing at least 2 people are prepping to be transported. A total of 6 people could be injured. Of course, this is a developing story. We will stay on this and bring you the very latest.
You're watching Fox News at 9.
Welcome back. We want to take you back out to that breaking news we told you about at the top of the newscast. Reports of 2 possible explosions in southwest Austin. This is a live picture of that scene, at least one of the scenes in southwest Austin. We now know 2 adult men have been taken to the hospital tonight. Their conditions are unknown, but this is very scary in light of what happened earlier this month. 2 confirmed mail bombings, 2 deaths, 2 other injuries. So we're going to be keeping tabs on this throughout the night and look for updates on our social media and our website, foxsanantonio.com. But again, reports of 2 possible explosions in southwest Austin tonight, and police are investigating. All right, back here at home.
You're watching News 4 San Antonio.
We are clearly dealing with what we expect to be a serial bomber at this point.
4 bombs, 2 people killed, and 4 others injured in the span of 16 days. Additional law enforcement officers are on their way to Austin right now to track down the person they are now calling a serial bomber. News 4's Ashley King is in Austin tonight with the latest on this case. Ashley?
Well, Delane, within the last 2 hours, we learned that police are allowing limited access for residents who live in this neighborhood. Now, where we are right now, it's still blocked off, but there's another entry where residents are allowed to go in. Now, tonight, I'm also learning more information about this bomb, which investigators believe had a tripwire. An area that usually serves as a morning walking trail is now an active crime scene.
It is scary because we walk up and down this neighborhood, all the time. This is where I usually do my walking in the morning.
Jeanette Pitton and her neighbors never expected the most recent bombing in Austin would injure 2 people and happen down the street from her home. Tonight, in a one-on-one interview with the ATF, we're learning in this most recent attack, the bomber brought in a yard sign and connected the device's tripwire to it.
When pressure gets put on that wire, it activates a switch and detonates the device.
ATF Special Agent in Charge Fred Milanowski tells me explosive specialists will now analyze the evidence collected at the scene.
They've looked at so many over the years that they'll be able to put this back together, comparing it to the 3 previous devices that we already have, and they will be able to have a good indication of how this thing was built and what the components were.
Investigators won't tell us what was inside the bomb, but they say it is similar to the other 3 bombs that have exploded in Austin over the past 16 days, killing 2 people and injuring 2 others. And while tips have led investigators to persons of interest, they have not made any contact with a possible suspect.
We have to bring this to a close, which is why I'm really asking for the bomber to reach out and talk to us.
From talking with last night's 2 victims, investigators say the bomb was sitting next to a fence and detonated when the victims walked over it. And at last check, the victims were stable with significant injuries. We've also learned that they are 22 and 23-year-old white males. Now, right now, investigators are also asking any homeowners who may have some surveillance video to go ahead and turn that over to police officers. And they're also warning everybody here in Austin, if you see something that looks like a backpack, a package, or a suitcase, or anything that just looks off, it's best just to call 911. Reporting live in Austin, I'm Ashley King. Back to you.
Package bombings in Austin. Our Ashley King has been there all day, where they just cleared the scene of the latest bombing, which was a little different than the others. Ashley?
Well, Randy, investigators just cleared the scene about 45 minutes ago, and you can see right here, that is where that bomb exploded. Now, neighbors tell us it happened right there where that crater is, and Austin police say now that residents are allowed back to their homes, they're getting additional information from home security cameras. From World Car Sky 4, we're getting our first look of the latest explosion scene in Austin. Debris scattered everywhere and a bike laying in the road next to it. Investigators say 2 men were walking with their bikes when they ran over a tripwire that detonated a bomb.
But it also really concerns us because it's more of a random target.
In a one-on-one interview, ATF Special Agent in Charge Fred Malinowski tells me explosive specialists will now analyze the evidence collected at the scene.
They've looked at so many over the years that they'll be able to to put this back together, comparing it to the 3 previous devices that we already have, and they will be able to have a good indication of how this thing was built and what the components were.
This morning, the Austin police chief also asked any residents in the area with security cameras to turn over that video. Tonight, we've learned some have answered the call.
We are getting video turned in, and that is something that we're running through all of our analytics to see if there's anything that will help us in identifying the suspect or suspects in this incident.
While tips have led investigators to persons of interest, they have not made any contact with a possible suspect or suspects. Now again, investigators are still trying to figure out exactly who left that bomb right there. Now, they do have a reward for $150,000 for anyone with information that leads to an arrest. If you know anything, they are asking you to call 911. Back to you, Randy.
You're watching News 4 San Antonio. Random explosions spread chaos and fear across south central Texas.
Oh my gosh, this is really close to home. This is real.
I live right up the road here.
Now, the hunt for a suspected serial bomber intensifies.
A package had been traveling along the automated conveyor when it had exploded.
You have 500 federal agents here in Central and South Texas, but another explosion has happened. What can you do to calm people's fears?
I hope the clues lead to whoever is doing this so they can stop this.
Our coverage of the Texas bombings starts now.
Good afternoon. We are live here in Schertz this afternoon, where the latest of those 5 bombings happened this morning at this FedEx facility. Package bomb exploded on a conveyor belt, and then another suspicious package was found up in Austin.
That's right. So whoever is responsible for this is really causing a lot of people to be on edge. Whoever they may be, so many people are wondering where he or she may strike again. And because this affects our community is exactly why we are out here in the field today with live team coverage. So here's a recap of the timeline of when all of these bombings started. Now, a man was killed by a pipe bomb in a package on March 2nd in North Austin while opening up a package. 10 days later, a teenager was killed and his mother injured when he opened up a package in East Austin. Hours later, that same day, an elderly woman was badly injured near Austin's airport when she picked up a package left on her porch. And then on Sunday, 2 young men were injured after triggering a tripwire while walking in Southwest Austin. Today's bombing happened at the FedEx facility right behind us here in Schertz, and that is where a woman was hurt when she was taking that package from one conveyor belt to another.
And right now, investigators do believe that all these cases are linked. They're talking about a serial bomber, and they're offering a 6-figure reward for information that leads to an arrest. In the meantime, they say you should take all precautions. If anything looks suspicious, report it immediately, whether it's a package, a box, a backpack. Don't go near it. That's what we're hearing from all the experts here, the FBI on down. And because this is, again, such a public safety issue, so many different parts of this story now, we have team coverage from Schertz and from Austin. News 4's Emily Bauckham is live. Emily?
Guys, it's been a very tense day out here. And just to give some perspective for our viewers at home, if you're in San Antonio and you ever order something online, 9 times out of 10, it's probably going to come to this facility here in Schertz. But right now, this facility is a crime scene. We have federal agents here. We have bomb dogs, all searching for answers.
Honestly, it's just scary.
I live right up the road here.
That initial shock was just, oh my gosh, this is really close to home. This is real.
It happened again, this time at a FedEx facility just outside San Antonio.
A package had been traveling along the automated conveyor when it had exploded. One employee that was standing near the explosion later complained of ringing in the ears.
Medical teams checked her out as federal investigators swarmed the sorting facility.
We're trying to surf through the evidence.
We've learned the package had an Austin mailing address. It was filled with shrapnel, nails, and pieces of metal.
We're working with the various delivery companies right now with the ongoing investigation. They have their security procedures and protocols, so they're doing the normal steps with the security and protocols, but we are working with them on the regular packages throughout the day.
Another late-breaking development, the FBI is investigating a confirmed link between the serial bomber and an Austin area FedEx office, further heightening fears across South Texas.
I hope the clues lead to whoever is doing this so they can stop this.
And remember, all this is happening as San Antonio prepares to host basketball's Final Four tournament. In just about 10 days or so, Police Chief William McManus and the FBI saying today that the 70,000 people from out of town and locals preparing to descend on downtown during that time, you can expect heightened security measures as we figure out who this serial bomber is. Back to you guys.
You're watching News 4 San Antonio.
Right now, investigators in Austin are still trying to figure out why this man made several bombs just terrorizing that city. Suspected serial bomber, 23-year-old Mark Anthony Condit, blew himself up while trying to escape from police overnight. And you're now looking at some exclusive evidence News 4 San Antonio obtained on the case. That is the shipping label from the package that blew up in the Shirts FedEx facility yesterday. The bomber used the name Kelly Killmore, as in K-I-L-L, Killmore, while dropping off 2 packages, and one of them blew up at the facility in Shirts yesterday. The other made it to Austin, and the FBI just wrapped up a news conference in Pflugerville with what they found in the house where Condit had been living with 2 roommates.
There was no completed devices in the house. There was componentry and the homemade explosive material that we found in the house, and that's what we were most concerned about, and making sure we were able to safely deal with that.
And we have a network of reporters who've been covering this story. Our Ashley King has been working on it since the very first bombing more than 2 weeks ago. Ashley?
Oh, Randy, literally just 5 minutes ago, we were able to move closer to that suspect's house. His house is right through that fence area right there. I can actually see some people dressed in hazmat suits walking around searching that house. Now, a little while ago, we also learned that the suspect's roommates were detained, questioned, and released. One of them is still being questioned. A 3-week-long search for a serial bomber came to a close right in the middle of Interstate 35. People like Bill Cotton witnessed it all.
I was out here last night and I noticed that the police were coming back and forth with their lights on but their sirens off, obviously surveilling the area. Investigators say it was these surveillance photos from an Austin FedEx, which we first exclusively obtained this morning, that helped lead them to 23-year-old Mark Condit. After naming him a suspect, they finally caught up with him at a hotel off I-35. But before the tactical team could get there, he took off and ultimately stopped his red SUV in a ditch.
As members of the Austin Police Department SWAT team approached the vehicle, the suspect detonated a bomb inside the vehicle.
The explosion blew one officer backwards, giving him minor injuries. Tonight, we're also learning from senior law enforcement officials that the bomber used foreign and exotic batteries in each of the explosives. Those batteries were ordered online from Asia, and that signature trait allowed them to quickly link all 5 explosions to the same person. Although Condit is dead, investigators say now is not the time to let your guard down.
We don't know where this suspect has spent his last 24 hours, and therefore we still need to remain vigilant to ensure that no other packages or devices have been left through the community.
And just moments ago, the ATF said there's no reason to believe that there are any additional bombs out there, yet the FBI is still warning people it's important to be vigilant. Back to you guys in the studio.